Hey, Chandler here, and in this video I want to talk to you about how to become a better leader. Now, leadership is something that I kind of always struggle with because, to be honest, it's one of those things that I saw it as this intangible thing. Right? As someone who's very much an operationally minded guy, I would hear people talk about leadership and I'd say, hey, leadership, let's talk about some other stuff that doesn't matter, right? It kind of felt like this airy-fairy, like you can't really touch it, you can't feel it. What is leadership? Oh, by the way, it also feels like this intimidating term, right? Oh, am I a leader? Who am I to think that I'm a leader? I've never been told that I'm a leader. Like, how do I become a better leader? It wasn't even really something I was aspiring to until I realized that it was the key chokehold in my business. And really, the turning point for me was I had one of my key employees quit for the first time ever. And he moved on from self-publishing school, and it was because of my leadership style. And this is the first time where I really had someone who was instrumental to the business that left because of me and because I wasn't a good leader. And so it kind of smacked me straight in the face. And for all of the next year, I made the whole theme of the year becoming a better leader. So I kind of themed my years, and I made the theme for that year, the year of becoming a better leader. So I read all kinds of books, I went through, courses, everything that I could find on leadership. And it's kind of funny, learning about something like leadership. It's kind of like when you buy a car. So it's like a red Jeep, and then you start seeing red Jeeps everywhere, right? It's something that you don't notice it until you focus on it. And I started focusing on leadership. I would be watching a Clemson football interview and with a head coach, and I'd be like, oh, I'm seeing how he's leading the team there. Or I would be watching a movie and, oh, there's leadership there, right? I started to see it everywhere. And there are a few key things that started to emerge for me. Now, I've got another video that's the 3 principles of leadership, my 3 fundamental principles of leadership. I think you'll really find that helpful as well, but this is really meant to build on that and just cover a little bit of extra ground here. So one of the first things that was a big turning point for me was I read this book called The Weekly Coaching Conversation, and he talks about how you're not a leader, you're actually a coach. And how it's just shifting your viewpoint to becoming a coach for the people that you're leading, which that was just mind blown, right? For me personally, because I couldn't put my finger on what it was to be a leader, but I could put my finger on what it was to be a coach. And I could envision what it would look like for me to coach my people and for me to help them get better. Now, another thing that I learned kind of along this journey is that the wins go to your team and the losses go to you, right? If you've ever seen a good coach in sports, especially this is, oh, we just got out coached tonight or today, it's on me, it's on the coaching staff, we're going to get this better, right? Because the worst thing that you can do is call out your players or the people who are working on the team. And, this probably for most of you seems obvious. For me personally, it was this weird thing where I felt like if I called out someone, they would perform better. But then when you're on a meeting and I'm just deflecting to someone else on the team, it's really demoralizing. So there's a really great book called Extreme Ownership. And one of the fundamental principles there is that there's no such thing as bad teams, only bad leaders. And really breaks down the process of owning everything in your business or in your company. Now, a couple other things here on this topic of leadership. I found that it was just really important to create a culture of feedback, of accountability, of growth. And this starts with you as the leader. So all the time I'm asking for ways that I can grow, I'm asking for ways that I can improve. And then also my folks give me feedback, and there's some times where I just act out of line or I'm not proud of my actions. And I found that one of the best things that you can do is apologize to the team, right? Because now all of a sudden they see, wow, I'm working for someone who wants to be better, who wants to be held accountable, who wants to grow, and who wants to just, be in this with us. So it's kind of hard to hold your people accountable for feedback, for accountability, for growth if you're not doing it yourself. And that brings me kind of to the last point, which is leadership and entrepreneurship. It's kind of like being a boxer and your back's against the ropes and you're just getting pummeled on a day-to-day basis. I found that really is the fastest way to expose all your flaws and all of your insecurities, which on one hand is terrifying, but on the other hand, you're able to grow a ton. So I'd have it no other way, because there's no faster way, I think, to grow than being a leader or being an entrepreneur. But the flip side of that is you got to be prepared for feedback. You got to be prepared to have all your flaws just put under a microscope, because they're going to be exposed and brought to the surface on a day-to-day basis. So these are just a few more principles I've learned in my journey, my never-ending journey that is still in progress, on my way to becoming a better leader. I hope that you found this helpful. I hope that this can help you become a better leader. So as always, comment below this video. Let me know what you thought of the video. What were your key takeaways? And I'll see you in the next one. See ya.